Welcome back to Yoga Awakening. I'm Katie, and Happy New Year, or happy whatever day it is that you're joining me here to practice. So today's class is Yoga for New Beginnings. So we're going to get started right away in a malasana or a yoga squat. So I have a block here underneath me. I'm just going to bring the feet out in front and then separate them as much or as little as I like. And you could be seated right on top of that block or blocks. I would just suggest they're on their lowest height so that they're steady and stable. And then bring the hands to heart center in this prayer position, Anjali Mudra. You could also reach the fingertips forwards, place them on the mat or the ground somewhere there out in front of you for a little bit more steadiness. You could also forego the block altogether. So take a moment or two here as we get started, just to make those little micro adjustments. You can shift the hips a little side to side, decide how much you'd like to point the big toes out, checking in with feet, ankles, knees, hips. And your final option here, if none of that is quite working for you, is to sit the hips all the way down there on the mat, or you could still have them on that block. And then bring the feet a little wider and a little further out in front of you, maybe hands to heart center here. Choose your position, your variation today of your yogic squat. Our only real goal here is just to kind of feel like we're getting down nice and low to the ground, widening the knees some. Then kind of allowing the pelvis there to get heavy, either resting on the mat or the block, or just heavy there in space. Sinking downwards. Start to feel the breath in the belly. Maybe the pose as you're here gets a little more active, a little more attentive. If you have hands at heart center, you might think about pressing the knees in towards the elbows and then elbows pushing the knees away. Creating this sort of oppositional force and power that as you press from both sides, it almost has you feel as though you could lift the hips up. At the same time, you're grounding down, this constant balance and opposition. And then we'll close the eyes or soften the gaze. Allow yourself as best you can to feel almost held here, held in space in whatever shape you've chosen. Knowing that I think usually if we're aiming to create a new pattern or switch our thinking or shift our perspective, aiming to cultivate some sort of newness or freshness in our lives, usually the best, easiest way to do that is from a place of groundedness in ourselves. So it's sort of clarity about who we are, what we want. And out of that, I think, can start to grow this sense of trust. Maybe even a trust in stepping into the unknown. So feel that heaviness of the low body. Connectedness to the feet, and the feet to the ground. And then open the eyes if they were closed. We'll take this into a little bit of movement with the arms. Legs will stay as they are. I'm going to open it up to the right arm reaches back. And then left hand can come anywhere out in front. I like to continue this sense of oppositional balance force here as I extend the left arm and then press left arm into left knee into left arm. A little more work there, probably you're feeling it now through the legs. We'll switch sides. Right arm down, left arm open. And then let's start to move here, maybe with a sense of ease, even as we're feeling all those muscles that are needing to work. Inhale as you open through one side, maybe exhale as you come through to center. Inhale to the second side. Great, let's take 2 more. Back through it to center, hands to the heart. Now, depending on how comfortable or maybe uncomfortable you are here, how much sensation you've got moving up through ankles, hips, you could adjust your seat now, or you could continue your Malasana pose for a few more moments. I'll mix it up a little bit and take a variation. So you might join me here in this more open Malasana. I'll bring the hands around towards the fronts of the shins. And from here, we're going to take a few rounds of Kapalabhati. So as you're ready, inhale in through the nose. And then on your exhale, it's these kind of pumping movements of the low belly. So with each exhale, I'm kind of imagining drawing in towards center, or even towards the back body, towards the spine. And then the inhale there will just happen passively. So you'll definitely want to make sure that it's happening. So you can get started there whenever you're ready, and hopefully you can hear that sound that I'm making out through the nostrils as I exhale. So just try along with me here, follow along. If you're familiar with Kapalabhati, you can just follow the pace of your own breath, that steady exhale. Think of that pumping action. Keep going. You can always take a pause when you need to and come back in. Starting to feel, hopefully, a little more energy now building up from feet, legs, hips, now into the belly. And we'll release. Big breath in through the nostrils. And this time, simple exhale out through nostrils or mouth. Soften the shoulders. If you're still in that Malasana pose, we'll switch it up one more time here and just come into a seat of your choice. Rest the hands. Maybe feel some of that work through the low body start to relax and settle. Inhale. And exhale. If you're seated on a block, we'll set that off to one side, and it will come through to tabletop. From tabletop, step one foot forwards, followed by the other. And we'll come just briefly into Uttanasana, or our forward fold. Bend those knees nice and generously. Maybe hips swing a little side to side. And then it will roll up. So rolling up, starting from the base of the spine, the tailbone. The head will be the last part of the body to rise. Tadasana, or mountain pose, when you get there. And then our next challenge for today's practice, going to be 2 rounds of a sun salutation, or vinyasa. And I'm going to leave you quite a bit of wiggle room here, freedom to make that your own. So I'll give a little bit of guidance as we move. If you already know exactly where you're going, if you've been here many times before moving through this flow, then you can get started right now and just listen to your own breath. But here's the trick, we're doing it with the eyes closed. So that's the real challenge. And of course, if that feels a little too unsteady for you at any moment, of course you can open the eyes and just get your bearings, and then maybe you'll just transition between eyes open and eyes closed as you're moving. If you really wanted to get fancy here, you could go grab yourself something, pause the video, and create a little blindfold so you're not tempted if maybe you've done this before and you think you're up for the challenge. All right, so here we go. 2 rounds, 2 sun salutations. We'll start together from Tadasana. Maybe you're already going here, following your breath, eyes closed. If you haven't guessed already, this is our trust exercise. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, your halfway lift. Making these poses your own, finding the variation that you would most like today. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to step it back. So here you can see we're really not worried so much about alignment. Maybe that's the real difficulty, the real challenge for you today as we move. Maybe knees down. As you exhale, it could be a half push-up or lower. Inhale, here's the heart opener, maybe in locust pose. Exhale, press it up, plank or half plank. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. our first round. So if you have a slightly faster pace, maybe you'll sneak in 3 vinyasas instead of 2. Or maybe you're following along here with me. Trying this out, trusting yourself, trusting the body, trusting the alignment to be good enough. And we'll step, walk, hop, especially challenging there with the eyes closed, up to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Find that steadiness even here. All right, one more time through. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step it back, plank, half plank. Knees lower. On your exhale, lowering down to the belly. Inhale. Maybe baby cobra, up dog, locust. Exhale, plank. Inhale. Next exhale takes you back, down dog. If you had trouble there with the eyes closed, just meet me here. 1 round of breath at least with your eyes closed in downward facing dog. Try it out. Feel the energy moving in the body. And then we'll go ahead and step up right about to the middle of the mat. You can open the eyes as you come on up. Spread the feet out wide, toes pointing out just a little bit. Open the arms wide as well. So mirroring the legs there. Star pose. So here we go into a short flow, just one time through, maybe taking this grounding and this trust that you've built and just seeing what happens. From our big, wide star pose, we're taking it over into a right side high lunge, so facing the front of the mat. And listen carefully here. I'm transitioning into left side skater. So left knee bent, and then those arms, fingertips pointing towards the left. Hips are low here. Transition back towards the front of the mat. Ground down through the right foot. Start to lift the left foot up. Maybe grab it there with the left hand. Right thumb can be at the heart. Or out in front of you, maybe that right elbow bent. And lifting up here into some sort of version of dancer pose. So this could be maybe more of a mini dancer here. It could be pressing in and out of the standing leg, just finding a nice sense of stretch through that left quad, openness in the heart. Maybe I open out a little further and just trust. Inhale. Exhale, one-legged Tadasana. Catch the left knee. And we're finding that same oppositional balance here. Right arm to the outer edge of the left thigh. Left arm opens. Twist to the left. Flex those left toes. Left and right legs active. Back through to center, maybe hands at the heart. Step the left foot back, star pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Great, same thing, second side. Transition, high lunge, left side, back of the mat. On your breath out, skater, right side. Back over to face the back of the mat, grounded through the left foot. Lift it up, maybe grabbing the right foot, right hand. And finding your pose somewhere along that path of mini dancer. A little more lifted, a little less extended and open. Maybe trusting and see where you can be in this moment, fully who you are. Fully here. Exhale, one-legged Uttanasana. Catch the right knee, squeeze it in, and twist to the right. Press left forearm into the right outer thigh knee. Back through to center, maybe hands at the heart, step it back. Star pose. Soak it all in. Arms can release along the sides of the body. And walk the feet in. We're transitioning onto the back. Come all the way down to your back. Spread out legs and arms. Close the eyes once again or soften the gaze. Feel how all of these movements are landing in the body. I know I can feel the energy moving, the blood circulating, maybe the heart beating a little faster, the body awakened. Notice how those challenges went. The exercise of trust in yourself, letting go of precision, and then that flowing through the unknown. So we'll end here in our Savasana. I invite you to ask yourself, in our last few moments of class, what is one thing that I would like to cultivate? Maybe you're practicing with me here in real time and there's something on your mind for the new year. You can come back to this question at any moment, any day of the year, it doesn't matter. Just ask if there were one thing I could shift. Maybe that's just a thought in the mind, a shift in perspective, a shift in where you're focusing your energy. Maybe it's something more practical. If I could shift or change or invite freshness or newness into one thing, one area of my life, what would it be? Know that if you're thinking about it, if you're reflecting on that one thing here now, that means you're probably already ready. Ready for that change. Maybe the change has already begun. Let's transition to a seat. Open the eyes if they're closed. We'll draw hands to heart center one final time. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.